Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my parents' basement in the great state of Kansas. I want to do some videos talking about movies that have anniversaries that I recommend, starting with 10 years and we'll go 20 years, 30 years. Anyway, just talking about some anniversary movies. So this first video, we're going to talk about 10-year anniversary movies. So movies that came out in 2015. So I'm going to give you some recommendations, some big hits, some maybe movies you might not have heard of. So most of these you've heard of, some you might not have seen or known about or as big, widely talked about or box office hits. So yeah, let's talk about 2015. I want to first start off with my favorite movie of that year, one of my favorite top 10 movies of all time, Creed. Creed, what an incredible sequel to a great franchise, the Rocky franchise, and yet we have this new character, Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed, and so we're starting like a new trilogy, but yet it's part of the old Rocky franchise, and it's such a cool idea to bring back, the Rocky character, and now he's the trainer, he's the Mickey, he's the one that has all the wise advice on how to train somebody, and now he's training his former friend, Apollo Creed's son, into being a boxer. Really cool idea of a story. I'll be honest, when it first came out, I thought it was just a cash grab and I wasn't that interested in the movie. I thought, oh, what? They're just, trying to make some money off of the Rocky franchise. Who cares about, what, the fact that Apollo Creed had a son and he's a boxer. It didn't seem like that interesting of a story, but then it turned out to be a really incredible story and really a star-making vehicle for Michael B. Jordan, who's like one of my favorite actors now out there, and he gave such a great performance here. I think overall, just absolutely amazing story, movie, acting, directing. Yeah, everything was great. Sylvester Stallone should have won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. He gave such a great performance. Bringing back, so cool seeing him bring back that character that we all love. He did such a good job there as well. But I just love the whole story of him trying to get meaning out of his life, or that he just afraid that he was just a mistake, and he thinks that if he can, win this championship, that he'll prove that he to himself, maybe more than anything else, that he isn't just a mistake, because dad never knew he was, his mom was pregnant and that he was going to be born, and his dad died before he was born. So it's kind of this existential crisis that's going on in his brain this whole movie. And when he reveals that at the last fight, oh my gosh, what an emotional moment. One of the greatest moments I've seen in a movie where I was like, oh my gosh, I totally get this character and his motivation. So yeah, Creed, love that movie. Definitely a movie if you haven't seen, gotta see. Even if you haven't seen any of the Rocky movies, it is such an amazing movie. Well done movie, and so many emotional moments in there. Yeah, so Creed is the first movie I want to talk about. Another movie I want to talk about is the Best Picture winner, actually, Spotlight. Spotlight, the one, it was kind of almost a surprise. I don't think it was one of those that it was like, okay, it was gaining some momentum, and I'm forgetting what I also thought might have won that year, but I remember thinking it was almost like the little engine that could kind of movie. Like it had a very important subject matter, and but maybe I had a good cast and everything. I don't know. It just at the beginning of the award season, it didn't feel like this was going to be the winner. And so when it did win, it was kind of a nice surprise almost, and it was kind of cool because I thought it was actually a really good movie. It's a very hard to watch movie, but again, very important. Talking about the sex scandal in the Catholic Church, and all these priests are uh, doing bad things, pedophilia kind of things, and all this, and it's run rampant in the Catholic Church, and it's all about this Boston newspaper journalist group called Spotlight, whatever, where they investigate and they kind of find out like how the Catholic Church hushes everybody up and sweeps it all under the rug, and they move the priests around to different areas. So once they do something bad, they just move them. It's very true stuff. Of course, it's based on a true story. It's very heartbreaking to know that this happened in real life and how many lives were ruined. And it's a movie that you have to get mad at, and you do get mad in a good way. There are some very emotional moments, and the characters are mad, and you're happy because I'd be mad too if I was those characters, if I found out all this information. Anyway, so yeah, very heartbreaking, very hard movie, deep, very deep movie about deep a hard subject matter to talk about, but a good one to realize that this was going on, and we were all, bamboozled, So, all right, another movie that was big, one of the biggest hits of the year, and I still really love it, and that is Jurassic World. Another kind of like Creed, it's like I didn't know we needed more Jurassic Park movies. We had pretty good trilogy, in my opinion, with the first three, and I never expected to get more. And again, it felt just like cash grab, like, oh, we're just doing Jurassic Park again. But no, Jurassic World I thought was actually a really cool kind of sequel to the franchise, and really made its own, trilogy in its own right with this one, and it made tons of money. Oh my gosh, it was like the biggest box office movie of the year, and it was so much fun. And I still really love the Jurassic Park movies and World movies, and anything with dinosaurs chasing and eating people, I generally really like, thanks to the first movie. But yeah, this was really cool look, and I love the idea that it's the Jurassic Park realized. They made it. Like the first movie is all about, or first movie itself is about they're thinking about, they're designing, and they kind of made this Jurassic Park, and they're putting people through the test to kind of and give approval so they can make it. Here now we're in the future and we made it, and so it's a cool idea what it would look like if there was a Jurassic Park. Anyways, and of course, big dinosaur gets free and starts killing everybody. It's the usual what we have, but it was so fun. I love Chris Pratt. He was really huge at this moment, and he's a great leading man here. And overall, yeah, it was just another really fun movie in the franchise. So I still give it a thumbs up. I think it's worth watching. Another movie that was pretty big, another really huge movie, is Avengers: Age of Ultron. There's been a lot of hate for this movie. I feel like people didn't like it as much as the first movie. I think it's just as good as the first movie. I think it's so much fun. The action scenes are really well done. I love that first action scene where everybody jumps in, the slow motion, as they're fighting these, kind of getting to the headquarters or something. They're fighting these towers and stuff, and all the uses. And then the very last scene where they're fighting all the robots, I thought was a real fun scene as well. I thought Ultron himself was a really good, one of the best villains I think we've ever seen. And again, yeah, like I said, all the action was really well done. It's a little long, I think. That's what people don't like, but still, it's. I love the team up. I love all the Avengers teaming up. I like a lot of the Avengers movies because of that. All the personalities that they put together. It's still a really funny movie. A lot of great moments. I still really love Age of Ultron. Still one of my favorite Marvel movies. So yeah, that came out in 2015. It's 10 years old now. Definitely one to rewatch if you haven't seen it in a while. Another movie I want to talk about is Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. Another great entry into the Mission Impossible franchise. This is like the fifth of the series, and yeah, I'm forgetting the name of the director, but I think they have a new director in this one. The guy that directed like The Incredibles, stuff like that, does a really good job here. And this has like probably my favorite beginning of a movie where he's gets Tom Cruise gets trapped on a plane, and he's waiting for the door to open, and the plane takes off as he's on the plane hanging on, and it's really Tom Cruise. It again shows how great Tom Cruise is, that he puts his body on the line, that he's really I don't know, I thought that was such a cool opening to the movie itself. Yeah, the underwater sequence is really great, and then right after that you have this great car chase, motorcycle chase scene. So yeah, again, bringing the great action scenes. I love Rebecca Ferguson. Her character coming in is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and does a lot of cool stuff too. Great locations as always. The villain is a little weak for me. Sean Harris, I don't know, he has a weird voice. Not into as much, but still, it's another great entry into the franchise of Mission Impossible, and a lot of fun. Also, I love the opera scene; is so good as well in Vienna. All right, let's jump to a movie that was way better than I expected and got a lot of Oscar buzz, and that is The Martian. Probably the best Ridley Scott movie in a long time. I really hated a lot of Ridley Scott's movies lately. He makes these very long, boring, overdone movies. I don't know, that just don't deliver and don't get good reviews for me. But this movie really surprised me. Matt Damon's so good in the lead. Really great cast overall. Really a lot of variety of actors here. And it's such a cool idea of a movie of a guy who gets kind of futuristic, sci-fi. He gets trapped on Mars, but he's like a scientist, so he figures out how to survive, and he's videoing it. So we've seen him document how he survives on Mars by himself. But yeah, he knows he can't survive too long, so he's putting out stress signals. They get the stress signal, and now they're trying to figure out how do we get back and save this one guy. Yeah, it's actually very like thrilling and funny. Matt Damon, like I said, is so good. He's very funny in the role. And the last action sequence is so thrilling and so like, whoa, you're on the edge of your seat, like how they save him and everything. It's so great. Really great ending to that movie. And it's just so cool seeing him be a scientist and figure everything out scientifically. Is actually a really fun part of the movie. And I don't normally like science that much. So yeah, Martian, a really good Ridley Scott movie. They got a lot of Oscar nominations and did pretty well in the box office. Yeah, Martian, really good movie. Okay, so I'm gonna get to some movies that weren't as big, but I think are worth checking out. One is Love and Mercy, which is a kind of biopic on Brian Wilson and a little bit of the Beach Boys. And it kind of sees Brian Wilson in two different eras. Back when he was with the Beach Boys, Paul Dano plays him. So great. Paul Dano should get an Oscar nomination. He really is the star of this movie. And we really see him, like, how his writing style, and how how he got through Pet Sounds and wrote the songs, and he's having all his issues as well. And then we get the John Cusack, older Brian Wilson, all the problems he's having when he's older. And there's a lot to that story I didn't know until I watched this movie, but really good performances by both Paul Dano and John Cusack, and a good look at one of the great geniuses in music who just died this last year, Brian Wilson. And lots of great Beach Boys music. So yeah, definitely worth checking out Love and Mercy. Another real cool movie is The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is based off of an old 60s TV show, kind of spy thriller. Henry Cavill, I think, maybe my favorite performance from him, even better than Superman. He kind of he's basically James Bond here. Like, he would have been a great James Bond. He's so cool and suave, and he's funny. Like, I didn't know he was that good of an actor. I just see him as, he looks great in the Superman suit. But in this role, he just totally different. He gets to really be a different kind of character. Overall, this is a great spy thriller movie. It's also very funny at times. And it has some moments I've never seen, really, in a movie that I really enjoyed. Like I said, Henry Cavill really steals all the scenes in the movie. And yeah, really fun movie, way better than I expected it to be. So yeah, definitely check out The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And then, see, the last movie I'm going to talk about is a movie called Woman in Gold. And another one you might not have heard of, wasn't as big. And it's Ryan Reynolds is in this movie, and he plays a lawyer. It's based off a true story. Helen Mirren is the main character, and there's a painting that her family owned when she was little, but she lived in Germany or something like that, and they were Jewish, so they had to leave, and they left Germany for America, and they kind of chronicle that during the movie, how they escaped, which is very thrilling. But she sees this painting that their family owned, and it got stolen from the Nazis, and then now it's like in a museum, and she's suing like the state or the country, I forget what country it's in, or state it's in, but she's like suing them because she wants that painting back for her family, because to her it's her family owns that painting, that's their family painting, and yet it's in a like museum or something like that. So it's a true story. It's a very interesting idea. Like, never thought of that as a cool courtroom drama type of topic, but yeah, really interesting movie overall. I mean, you got Helen Mirren and Ron Reynolds, both are really great in this movie. Flashbacks of how they escaped is really great as well. But yeah, really cool idea for a movie that was really well done. And yeah, it's something you probably never thought of or seen before. Definitely check it out. Woman in Gold, really cool movie. So yeah, those are my recommendations that are getting 10-year anniversaries this year. Definitely check them out. And I'll come back with some more next time with 20-year anniversary movies. So until then, tell me if there's any movies I missed that are some of your favorite movies from 2015. Let me know what you thought of the movies I recommended, all that. If you've seen them, if you haven't seen them, all that. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking it, and thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. Appreciate you all, and hope you have a good day.